Welcome to FuggaBRAT. Let me start with a question. When people hear the term ADHD, most of them immediately think about distraction or not being able to focus. But what if the experience is much bigger than that? What if ADHD shapes the way someone thinks, manages energy, and even connects in relationships? Today, we're talking about the real lived experience of ADHD. Joining me is Vera Adams from the True Light Institute, and she's here to share her perspective and what ADHD actually looks like day to day. Vera, thank you so much for being here.
We're just going to discuss some things and maybe a few techniques that can help people with ADHD.
I'm the one doing 300 projects at the same time, starting 5 businesses, talking on the phone, cooking, cleaning, doing too many things at the same time. And I used to think that something was just broken with me, that I couldn't just finish anything. Until, thank goodness for the internet nowadays, we see it that is a common thing. And I'm not the only one.
Right. There's a lot of people that have ADHD and some people that just kind of think that they have ADHD, but they're not really sure. So I just want to say this, that you'd really have to get diagnosed by a doctor to know if you really do have ADHD. It's attention deficit disorder and hyperactive disorder. So somebody with ADHD, let me just give you a little bit of a scenario here. Say that you are working on your computer and you decide that you need to go into the kitchen and you need to do dishes. So in the mind of an ADHD person, they're working on their computer, they're listening to music, they get up and they walk in there and they forget that they're going to do the dishes. Instead, they open up the refrigerator, they get something to eat. They look over, then they see that there's a mess on the counter. They grab the spray, they start spraying off the counter. They hear something in the other room. They go answer the door. They go start the laundry. They forgot that they were in there to do the dishes. So if this sounds like you, then it's a possibility that you might have it.
That is true. And it's very hard because, as a mom, you are always doing 300 things at the same time. And then when you have this disorder on top of it, it gets really difficult. Maybe you can share with us some tips, some things that we can do to help us bring it back. For example, like that, I am working, right? I work from home and I'm working and then I need a snack. And then I need to go to the bathroom. And then I'm like, I'm going to take a break and I'll do both of those things. And then I leave my desk and I go somewhere else. I don't even go to the bathroom and I don't grab the snack and I wasted the 10 minutes break that I had. And then I'm back to the beginning. Some days it's very hard. So I don't want to get medicine, but there's a couple of natural things.
Absolutely. First of all, recognizing that you are doing that kind of stuff, you kind of have to bring it back. Like, what am I going here for? An example.
Then you forget.
Right. Right. Well, that's old age too. When you get to be my age, that's what happens. You just forget completely. But no, really what happens is you have to bring it back. So ADHD is more of, and this is the best way that I can describe it, it's a time management problem. So it's like you're getting ready for something that you have to do at 6 o'clock at night. And it's like noon. And you think, wow, I have until 6 o'clock at night to get this done and get ready and be on my date or whatever it is that you're doing at 6 o'clock. So you think, well, I'm going to clean my house, do the dishes, wash my car, pick up the kids, make lunches for the next day so you don't have to lay my clothes out for the night. Then I'm going to take a shower. Then I'm going to get ready. Then I'm going to be ready. But the problem is that you try to fit in all of these things where your normal activity that you're trying to do is you're just trying to go to that thing at 6 o'clock. So in your mind, you don't have to start getting ready until like 4. But then 4 o'clock comes around and you go to get in the shower, but you notice that you have all these things on your counter and you got to clean up your counter and you might as well scrub your toilet and you do all these other things in the bathroom. Now you're going to be late. You're going to be late. So ADHD people are also very consistently late or just barely on time. Like it just got there because you just allowed just enough time. So time management is really the key. I always say this, and this is from the 7 healthy habits of a productive teen or something like that. And it's putting first things first. And what you do is, so you do have to do this at 6 o'clock. Ready first. Get ready first. What a concept, right? But people with ADHD, we have all this time But then it gets to it and then we have no time because we've wasted all this time doing all these other things. So the number one thing would be do the thing that you're going to do and do that first. And then if you have time to clean your house and your shower and make lunches and cook and scrub the floor, great. But now you're ready and you will actually be on time. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, but that is one tactic. Another thing that people really struggle with is showering. Showering is tough because there's a lot I mean, come on, like when you got this kind of hair and you're going to take a shower, you think of everything it's going to take when you have to go take a shower. I got to take a shower. I got to wash my hair, condition my hair, blow dry my hair, then get ready. And that takes a long time when you have a lot of hair. Now, guys out there, it's different, but for females, it takes a long time. So we kind of have this paralysis over taking a shower because the time, remember what I said about time? We think we can get ready in time. The same thing happens when you are getting ready to shower, that you go through this time thing and you think it's too much. But then if you choose to take the shower, you get in the shower and because you've already told yourself this is going to be a quick shower. I'm just going to get in. I'm going to get out. I'm going to wash my hair. I'm going to do it as fast as I can. You think it's going to be like a 3-minute shower and then you stay in there for like 20.
But then when you realize that you do have a disorder, so you start setting little things up.
Yes.
One of the things that I do is I put an alarm.
This is great. This is a great tactic too.
Some days is just really hard to keep up with. With so many things. Like I start laundry and then dishes and then cooking and then I have to take care of myself and it's just stuff. One thing that it has helped me a lot. I mean, besides the alarm, of course, the alarm has helped. It helped me tremendously. It's alarm for every day. If I have an appointment at 6:00, I'm putting an alarm from 5 to remind me that I have to be done by 5:45. First, of course, I do some steps, of course. See the map where I have, look at the map, how long it takes for me to be from here to where I have to be. I always try to walk backwards, right? If I have to be there at 6, then where do I have to be? How long it takes me? Half an hour. So 5:30, the latest is when I have to leave the house. 5:30, I'm already late. So if I have half an hour for me to be there, I gotta give myself 10 to 15 minutes grace period. Because I do. I arrive, okay, I do everything perfect and I get there on time. I'm like, okay, cool, I have 10 minutes to stare. Let me just check my email. And before I know, I got on a call and now I am 15 minutes late. It's just so alarms are my number one.
Time management is everything. So a lot of times I've heard people say that what helps them with your alarms, they'll set 3 or 4 alarms and those alarms mean different things. 1 hour prior is you need to wash your hair. The next one, 10 minutes to curl your hair. You have 10 minutes to get dressed. You have 10 minutes. And then you have your final alarm, which is, this is your 10-minute alarm right now that you have to be ready and in the car. And that 10-minute alarm is not at 6:00. That 10-minute is like 5:45 or even earlier than that. So you can be on time because the problem with ADHD is that you have a time problem. You think you have all this time and then you don't. You do like these things that are insignificant.
And you think you can always add something. I have extra 5 minutes instead of just like, wait, there is like non-negotiable things, which is self-care is a non-negotiable. It's an everyday thing. Brushing teeth, an everyday thing. So you gotta just really like be aware of your day, the things you do. What are my non-negotiables? What are my priorities? If you get in a habit of getting up and getting them done right away, it just feels so good. And it feels like medicine. It helps you. And then it makes you feel like, oh, I'm accomplishing things. And for brain that is so busy trying to accomplish things, that is huge.
There's actually a couple of ways that you can kind of look at this. And I would call it things that you need to do and that you want to accomplish. And they're like your platinum, your gold, your silver, and your bronze. So your platinum things are like your platinum things are like the big things that you need to accomplish, for that day. And then it kind of trickles down from there. Your gold things are less important, as for your silver, and then when you get to bronze. Now, here's the fascinating part about people with ADHD is that the bronze list of items might be, they're little things that really can be done at any point in time, but they're the easier things. So say that on your list, number one of your platinum items is calling the IRS. Nobody wants to call the IRS. No one wants to sit on hold, especially not an ADHD person. They don't want to sit on hold. They don't want to call. They don't want to do it. They don't want to know what the information is that's coming back from it, but they have to do it. That's a perfect one. So that would be your platinum thing. Well, something a little bit less than that is maybe a work project that's not due tomorrow, but is due in a couple of days. Then something lower, you might have to make a few phone calls to people to tell them thank you because they sent you something in the mail. Then you have the lesser things, which is cleaning your kitchen, mopping, or doing something. So here's what is fascinating. People with ADHD will do all these little things, mopping and clean up the kitchen and do the dishes and do everything.
But not the goal.
But nothing on the platinum, the gold, and the silver, but they'll do bronze all day long. And then at the end of the day, they think that they've done a lot. Here's what I suggest. Now, I do the same thing because it makes you feel like if you are busy and if you are moving, that you are accomplishing things. And yes, you are, but you're accomplishing things that are inconsequential to what you really need to get done. I suggest choose one thing off of each of those lists. So if you can, the night before, make an A, B, C, D list. So that's basically your platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. You go from the top down. What is the most important thing you want to accomplish? What is the second? What is the third? What is the fourth? But then the most satisfying thing is to actually cross it off. But when you're only crossing it off when it's on that bronze, that's not great. And you don't feel good. You're like, oh, I accomplished stuff, but it's just not enough. Do you understand?
And now, do you want a secret that will make the whole list better? If you have that big call that you need to make and you don't want to make it, that's where you start. Because when you tackle that one first, it is snowball. It gives you this power that you like, oh, it's over, it's done. And then you're like, oh, it wasn't as bad. Sometimes it could be really bad, but at least it's done. And where you don't do it, what happened? You do the whole other list, but with that on the back of your mind. It's always spoken because you don't forget. You know you have to make that call. You're just not calling because you don't want to deal with it.
And it's interesting because you'll spend more time stressing out about making that call than what you actually spend on the call.
Doing laundry.
Let's be honest. A lot of people, they're good at washing it. They're good at drying it. But then you have to fold it and put it away. Come on. It's piles and it's heaps. And now that it's so large, now you don't want to tackle it because it's just heaps of stuff now. You don't want to do it. If you would just take the time, you know what's really astonishing is that the average load of laundry to fold and put away takes less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes out of your life. A lot of times I have to ask, how long is this task going to take me? Because I have task paralysis. So I wonder, well, how long is it going to take for me to fold and put that away? When you do fold and put that away, you feel great, especially laundry. How long is it realistically going to take to be on the phone, to call that friend, to say thank you when someone sends you a present and you have to call them because, you know, all of us want to just text, hey, thanks, this was really great. You have to send. Sometimes you don't want to send the text and you don't even answer the text and you leave the text unread because you're like, I'm not ready to answer this right now, so I'm just going to leave it unread. Yeah. And it takes, how long does it take to send back a text? But we'll leave it on unread for days.
All those 100 tabs open on the computer, all those different projects, and then like, you want to tell me that I have to pick one of my projects? Oh my gosh, no. But I know that if I try to focus on all of them at the same time, it was all half and half. So
I see a lot of messiness. People that are messy, as in, like, say their clothing drawers are just open and they don't get closed and the clothes inside of them aren't folded, but they might be separated, like socks here, underwear here, shorts here. But they leave them open. And I thought, well, I wonder why that is, because I like to see my things. And that's another thing is when you see them, they're there. When you don't see them, they're not there. So some other little tactics to kind of make you be more aware of what you need is sit it down on the counter or sit it by their keys or sit it by something so they know if they're not putting it on the list that they're taking with them, because we all know that we'll write it on a list and then leave the list at home.
But with ADHD people, if you do put on a list, you tend to remember.
Yeah. As soon as you write it down, then it's kind of etched in your memory. There's a lot of different tips or tricks that you can do. Try getting ready, fully ready first, and then see what you can do with your time after that. Anyways,
yes, this was a nice chat.
Yes, it was great. And one thing to take away from ADHD is that realizing that time management is something that we all struggle with. And if we can do things, whether it's alarms or getting ready first before last, those kind of things, and just try it just one time this week. See if it works.
Yeah. And one main thing is that just remember, there's nothing wrong with you.
None of us are perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
And we're all learning, and we're just trying to work together and trying to put our stuff into perspective, and just know that you're not alone.
Yeah, that's why we're here. Just chat about this topic, because this is such an important topic. Everybody struggles.
Nobody truly has their shit together. I'm just saying that right now. I'm Shelbi Fox with the FuggaBRAT podcast. Tune in sometime.